Thank you for the things he brought me through.
Yes.
See, we don't never have no problems. We don't ever have no issues. We won't experience anything. So we got to learn to thank God for what he's taken us through. Learn to accept that God has taken me through this. And other times when we do that, God will come by. Give him thanks. I want to use for a subject on this morning. God's elect. God's elect. We are God. God have elected us, meaning he have appointed us. He have chosen us. He have handpicked us in such a time as this. And I'm telling you now, this songwriter saying, out of all the people in the world, he chose me.
Yes.
We are grateful. We are grateful to be chosen. Chosen priesthood. Chosen people. Royal priesthood.
Yeah.
We're chosen by God.
Thank you.
We didn't choose God. God chose us.
Yes, indeed. All right.
I'm telling you now because we wouldn't choose God, not in its entirety, not, it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good, the things we go through. So a lot of times as human beings, when something don't feel good, then we ain't gonna choose that way. We're gonna choose a way that, like Lot did. Lot chose that everything is built up. Everything is already set.
Yes.
Everything is on. The grass is green. I don't have to build nothing over there. Let me go this way. So Abraham said, go ahead, go that way. Go ahead. Choose which way you want to go. And I go the other way. We as people, in the human race, we would choose the other way. Choosing the other way a lot of times is trying to do it on our own. This is, we over here in Luke, the 18th chapter. I really hope not to hold you long. I'm tired myself, to be honest with you. I'm running on fumes a little bit, even though I've been off, but I'm tired, so whatever. Got to be in late. But Jesus knows we got to be in the house. We got to be here. We got to give him the praise. It's all about what you bring to the table.
All right.
What we bring to the table. Luke the 18th chapter, starting at verse number 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought to always pray and not to faint, saying, there was a city, a judge, there was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man. It said, and there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of my adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterwards, he said unto himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continually coming she weary me. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them? He said, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Thank you, Lord. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? This widow kept coming to this unjust. I mean, this man ain't. He said this judge ain't thinking about God or man. He doing his own thing. Whatever come to my mind, that's what's right. That's how this is how this judge was. Whatever. Look, no, don't do it. This is my program. That's how he looked at it. He ain't fear God, and he sure didn't fear man. Let me just tell you this. Back in those days, the widows and the offering were among the most unprotected people. The prophets of the Old Testament and the apostles of the New Testament, they demanded that they would be properly cared for. You can find, let's run over here, Exodus. And we'll run right back to here. Exodus, the 22nd chapter. They had to care for these people. They was pushed aside. Not just that unjust judge, but everybody kind of like pushed them aside and told them, if you got to have some kind of family. If you look at this story, you look at this and two of these widows and things like that, they used to always ask them, did you have any sons or did you have any nephews and things like that, some kind of male factors in your life. Exodus, the 22nd chapter, verse number 22 through 24 said, ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child or orphan child, if thou afflict them in any wise, in any kind of way, and they cry at all unto me. He said, I will surely, verily, hear their cry. He said, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. They meant business. If they cry, you got to take care of these widows. And you know, my mind go back really when I look at this here, when I look at that, that's just like that rich man that went to hell. He didn't go to hell because he was rich. It was their duty. It was the law that they took care of the poor, that they looked after the poor. And that was his problem. This poor man sitting outside your gate every day. Somebody no doubt sitting them there, dogs licking his sores and things like that. And all he wanted was crumbs from your table. He didn't ask you for none of your steak or none of whatever it is that you was eating. He just wanted the crumbs, and you wouldn't do that. The law was required them to take care of them, to maybe to look after them. But I'm telling you now, sometimes when you go through that test, that was a test for that rich man. He failed that test. Day in, day out, this poor man, he laid at there. He laid there, and anytime somebody had to take him there, no doubt, every day. Because I mean, anytime you lay there and you just laying there and dogs licking your sores, that means you was incapacitated, no doubt. You couldn't really get out there on your own and do what you needed to do. But I'm telling you now, that law, man, my goodness, if you look at the laws now, look at the laws back then, we wouldn't maybe live like that. We ought to be grateful that God had torn down the veil and we able to go to God. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you now, because when you look at that thing, it was rough. God said, hey, listen here, I'm going to be the lamb. There don't have to be no more lamb after me. He tore down the veil. We can go straight to God. That's our lifeline. That's our lifeline. That's our lifeline. Yes, we can talk to one another and tell each other our faults and our failures and things like that. Confess our faults and failures to one another. Faults and failures now to one another. And I'm telling you now, but back then it wasn't like it is now. Told them, take care of these widows. They lost the man of the house. They need a man in their life to help them. They might not want to be married or other cases, but they need some kind of male factor there to help them along the way. They got the strength and things like that to support them, to keep them, to hold them up. Yeah. And I'm telling you now, the prophets of old, the apostles in the New Testament, they demanded that listen here, let's take care of them. God elect. We are elected by God. I'm grateful just because of that. In spite of how things look look, and I'm telling you now, all you got to do is just think and realize that God have blessed you, and He have elected you. He have chose you for such a time like this. For all you got to do is keep feeding your Holy Ghost, keep praying, keep fasting, keep coming to church, keep doing the living holy, being a living sacrifice, holy unto God, which is our reasonable servant. And I'm telling you now, you will make it to heaven. Job that we got a job that we got to do also. You've been chosen by God. I mean, I'm not talking about no ordinary man that can die and can't get back up, but I'm talking about God that have died for you, that have got back up on the third day. Lord help us. I'm telling you now, we ought to be grateful because of that. Lord, you chose me. I'm wrecked, I'm done. I'm somebody, I'm dog outside the gate. And you chose me. No good, drug addict, prostitute, alcoholic, a liar. I'm a backsliding Lord, and you look down on a dirty person like me and chose me. Pick me up, turn me around. You gave me a brand new start. You gave me a brand new determination. Lord, who would do it for somebody like me? Who would do that? Who would serve a God like this? Man, I'm telling you now, when man walk over you, look at you, don't pay you no mind. Jesus, reach all the way down, get you out of that mud, that marriage clay. Put your feet on heavenly places. Jesus, God, you elected me, and for that I return to say, thank you, thank you, thank you for being my God, for being my Savior, for being my King forever. Who wouldn't serve him? Who wouldn't serve him? He's a mighty God. He loves us. He loves us. We got to go to him. Let's look over here. Romans the 8th chapter. Verse 33, it said, who should lay anything to the charge of God elect? Who can do that? It is God that justifies. Who? Can't nobody do nothing. Who will lay? Who would do it? God to justify. People looking at you, whatever this, whatever that. Who?
Thank you, Jesus.
If God before you, who can be against you?
Yes.
If God before you, who can be against you?
Thank you, Jesus.
Nobody can be against you. Yeah, they might be against you, but guess what? It ain't gonna prosper at all. It ain't. It ain't.
All right.
I'm telling you now, I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta get your place in your life, saints.
Go ahead.
Where the people, when you find the things, not just people, but things that are stacked up, the chips are stacked up against you, I'm telling you now, you're in a good place. When you realize that God is with you, and you accept that God is with you, and you know that God is with you, and you got confidence in God. Come on, stack it up. Come on, mountain. You won't get out of my way. You might not get out of my way today. Doors you might be closed today. But my God, He's standing there with me. He's not, He's to be always be with me, even to the end of the world. That's what I'm telling you now. You got to have confidence in God to understand this. Get this. It look like this thing haven't got any better. But my God, I'm elected by God. God chose me. So since God chose me, He's going to be with me. He chose you to leave you alone. He chose you to make you Go through all those weak times that you're going to go through. Go through them. Because when it's all said and done, you're going to look back on that and say, if it had not been for the Lord, who was on my side, when the devil tried to swallow me up, I'm telling you now, you're going to have a praise like never before. God is making you strong. He's building some courage in you. I'm grateful for it. I'm telling you now, you can, weeping may endure for a night. Weeping may endure just for a night. But joy, here comes joy. Here comes joy. Joy is coming. That's all right. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and cry. Look at that devil in the eye and say, I cried my last tears. I cried my last tears. Joy is coming. And man can't give you joy. Joy comes from God and God only. When you look at life, the natural life, all natural life can do is make you happy. Happiness is just temporary, but joy is forever. The joy, when you get in the presence of the Lord, that's joy. That's fullness of joy. Not fullness of happiness. It's joy. God give you joy. Tell you now, God give you joy. Man to give you happiness. Boy, he'll fill your pockets up. He'll give you what you want. He'll give you this materialistic stuff. And I'm telling you now, not realizing you have to realize that it's temporary. You have to realize it's going to pass away. Nothing that you gain in this world, you can take with you. I don't care how much you gain in this world. It's going to pass away. You are not going to take it with you. You won't be in heaven or in hell talking about what you gain in this world. Reach for joy. God is God's elect. Can't nobody take that from you. Can't nobody take that from you. That boy sold his birthright. He sold it. He gave it away. His brother couldn't take that from him. He was the elder son. He gave it away. And I'm telling you now, can't nobody take your birthright. You got to give it away. And why are you going to go back into you and eat your own vomit after you got cleaned up? We do. But God, you're God's elect. I'm grateful to be God's elect. What is this? Romans the 12th chapter. Verse 19 said, beloved, it said, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. Oh Lord. It said, rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. He said, give place to wrath. Give place to trouble. Because trouble coming. Trouble coming. Don't listen here. God ain't made none of us no fool. He ain't told us that he ain't told us that trouble wasn't gonna come. And they say it wasn't gonna come. It gotta come. Trouble gotta come. This is a suffering way. It have to come to make us. It have to come to shape us. To get all these rough edges off of us. Well, I'm telling you now, we think that we don't sometimes. We got a lot of rough edges on us. The church has become a street. A lot of people, I'm telling you that, boy, they still got a lot of street mentality. And sometimes I sit back and say, boy, I see that behavior before. It just wasn't in the church. But now it's in the church. We have allowed a lot of stuff that's in this world that creep up in the church. You got to get this mess out of here. I'm telling you now, it's time to live holy. Acceptable to God. That's why I'm telling you now, you realize why you can't get a prayer through. You allow too many carnality stuff. You allow too many worldly stuff that creep up in the church. Oh, y'all crying on me today now. It's the truth. They used to tell us, it might be tight, but it's right. We got to look to God. I'm telling you that. Listen here, you don't beat yourself up about it. I myself doing this. Much as I say that, I do that pretty much every day. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just ask God. Tell God to help you right where you are.
All right.
You see where I'm short at, Lord. You can be short anyway. I don't care how close you think you're going to get to God. You coming up short I'm telling you now, when you leave here. Everybody come up short. You'll never live up to the expectation that God wants you to. You human. We human, God. That's why the Bible said, it says strive to enter in. Strive with all your might, all your power, everything that's in you. Strive. It didn't say strive to be perfect. It said strive to enter in. For saints of God, we're God elect. We're God's kids. We're God's children. We ought to be grateful just because of that. Just because of that. I'm telling you now, the time and the day we're living in, I'm saying now, if you ain't grateful to be saved, you will never be. You will never be.
Thank you, Jesus.
Look at you. And look how you know how you used to be. And look at God, even though the devil put in your mind. See, when you was out there, you ain't go through as much trouble as you're going through now. But you ain't have hope beyond the grave either. He ain't gonna tell you that. You got a hope beyond the grave. When you die, when you leave this earth, you got hope. You have took hope with you. I'm telling you that, boy. That deacon, he's saving me every day. He's saving me. He's saving me. I'm not going to draw it out. I'm not going to draw it out. God's elect. God's elect. God's elect.
Thank you, Jesus.
Let God do whatever he want to do with you. And it ain't going to tell you now, it ain't going to feel good all the time. It ain't going to feel good, but I can guarantee you one day, in this short time that I've been living, it'll help you. It'll help you see things different. You know what you got to do? You got to turn down that plate sometimes. We do. And pray more earnestly.
Yes.
Come on, who want to be baptized? All things are ready. Everything is ready. All things are prepared. And the man of God will take you down into the liquid grave.